Peace, peace, y'all. Hey, we made it. It's another one, man. Look at that sky. Feel good in here, man. Hey, the relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you can have or that you can build. Your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you could have or build. Without the positive relationship with yourself, how to be trusted, how can you have a positive relationship or experience with your world? And I want to say your world, because your world is not my world. We live in the same worlds, but have different worlds. All right. And it's mainly based off, your world is mainly based in its entirety to your relationship with yourself, or lack thereof. Okay. You have to be able to break everything down about you. Seems as though we can break things down about a lot of things and everything that we don't know. Have an opinion on it, study, research it, everything that we don't remember, right? And become experts at it, right? But not of ourselves. Without the proper or a positive relationship with yourself, to yourself, for yourself, we're cheating the world. Our world is being cheated. Okay? And that goes every way, not just one way or another. What I mean by, if I don't have the proper relationship with myself, and or if I'm not aware that I don't have the proper or the most positive relationship with myself, how can I present myself as being capable or having the capabilities, to have a positive relationship with anyone else or anything else? And I believe this is the elephant in the room, because if I'm being honest, right? That's where the biggest bowel movement come from. The biggest leak come from is, starting to build relationships with people, places, and things out of order before we build a relationship or a positive one with ourselves. And this starts, this goes back. This is retro through cultures and common customs and cycles. Okay. Who's teaching it? Why do you do the things that you do? A lot of things play a part in that. Why we do the things that we do. And accept all the self, accept all of yourself, good, bad, indifferent, and ugly. And love it. It's a lot to love. But see, certain things you don't have to hold on to no more. Certain things about yourself, when you build that relationship, positive relationship, you say, okay, I'm building a positive environment internally. So externally, I will, my manifestations be aligned with, who I'm becoming and who I want to be, one day, internally. So when you manifest in, those different businesses and those different, when these my brother soul like to say, these byproducts of the world, the physical world, when you manifest in these things and these riches and these, quote unquote success, right? Put them in quotation marks, right? When you're manifesting these things, the internal work is done like not done like said like that's the end all be all. Like you don't have other things, you know, like it's not going to be another cycle of getting waste, you know, eliminating waste. Not saying that, but the relationship with self should be the study, because we're being studied anyway through your IP, the FY page, and the cookies, and you know, all type data on you anyway, on us anyway. They, you know, I'm not going to spin off into that section, right? But you know, if everyone else is studying you, if it's already the analytics, you know, that's going on out there for you, to build a relationship based off of your own analytics on who you are and what your thoughts is, and eliminate and create a positive environment inside and outside for you to manifest. Okay? Because that's why the disarray or the chaos or the different pulls, everybody pulling at your steering wheel has, it's like making you the control, like it's a controller plugged up into you. So, you know, like a controller, like a game, you know, like the game systems, and you got the controller. So it's like, you know, you might want to set off course to do something that you haven't done, and you actually know how to do it, and you got the thought and the vision to do it, right? And your thought and the vision to do it may actually be like that. It might be a perfect plan, right, to do it. And the course of action might be a perfect course of action to do it. And then you're manifesting everything that, you know, your thoughts and your plans, everything planned to be. And then it's like, okay, you got all these things and you manifested this world look beautiful, right? That world look like, yeah, perfect over there. But then it's like, nah, you see the leaks. It was hard to hold that thing together. And I'm not saying everybody's perfect. All I'm saying is that relationship, I come to find out that relationship with yourself reflected what the relationship was to the world and with other people. Okay? We attract what we are and who we are, not what we want. What we want are byproducts. Shout out, soul. What we want, these things that we want physically, material things, those are byproducts of this realm. Those aren't the things that we're supposed to be wanting, because that becomes a novelty, you know, whereas though you can never have enough new things, right? Novelty wears off quick on purchases made. Okay, what you got to give to the world? If you're internal, if you're not, you know, standing on what you standing on, and you know, thinking on what you thinking on, being who you are, you got your own set. It's not predicated on what was before, because that's backwards, and you thinking backwards. All right, and that's thinking backwards, and that stops your forward motion, you know. And this is why we go through these cycles, and you got to cleanse, so you detox. I'm talking about your mind, body, and spirit. You got to detox, because if you get pulled back to that old memory of who you are not anymore, right? You're not able to forward march. You're not able to forward march appropriately, because it got you wrapped up. It still got you wrapped up. You know, you got to be able to, you know, be able to draw that line in the sand, you know, and that's the boundary, and, you know, and set boundaries for yourself, about yourself, around yourself. Yeah. And, you know, these things sound like they, you know, they're so simple, you know, and you got ties to things and individuals and peoples and places, and guess what? So all ties aren't meant to stay tied, especially in the world today. You know, I can't 100% say that, you know, that it's possible, not saying that it's impossible, that it's possible to live life like our ancestors lived, you know, even in the family structure of things, you know, that we live in a new world today. You know, everything that was, you know, what the truth then might not work today. The truth then might not work today. You know, in other words, you know, that changes the dynamic of everything. The way that we parent, the way that we view life, the way that we teach life, the way that we experience it, you know. And you can say, oh, no, this is the right way to do things. You know, yeah, you can say that easily. Right way for who? You know, you got, it's just a whole bunch of relationships being made, relationships. And I'm not just referring to in, you know, a bond with another. I'm not just talking about relationships, period. You know, everybody is more accessible times, you know, however many percent. I want to say might be 1,000% more accessible to access people. You know, you got people that you don't know. Hit that like and subscribe for the algorithm. You can just get in touch with anybody now, you know, real easy. And yeah, you know, social media wise, you know, metaverse wise, you know, I remember a time where as though you had to literally, you know, if you want to speak to a girl and get, you know, we had to get the phone number. Then the phone number wasn't even directed to a cellular device where you can actually reach the person direct. You had to go through the parents and, you know, hoping that, you know, it was all right, it was cool, right? Now, fast forward 2025, not only can you bypass the cellular device, or the phone number to speak with somebody, you don't even have to really speak and have your words together. You can type it in a form of text, chat, through social media that already has you visualizing what that person is like, because you can see pictures of them. Remember, you had to get the pictures back in the day of your crush, your high school crush or something like that, and they had the pocket pictures, the wallet size, wallet size picture, and you got that thing, and you know, it was like that. It was hands on. So everything is 1,000% eliminating the work. And now you're connecting, you're able to, I don't want to say connect. You're in contact with people that haven't even had a good relationship or a healthy or positive relationship with themselves, and you had no idea what you was getting into. Why? Because that's the world that we living in. So everything's 1,000%. I'm just gonna stand on 1,000%. 1,000% faster, 1,000% eliminating the work, and we rush 1,000% to the success, right, of a certain thing, not just relationship. And guess what? That groundwork or that foundation work, which is the self, yourself, hasn't been worked on, isn't being worked on, isn't being maintenance, isn't being audited. Those same thoughts you had then is the same thoughts you're working with now. But now you got millions of dollars, and access to a lot. I don't want to say abundant, right? You got access to a lot and don't have an abundant mindset. See, the abundant mindset the abundance mindset is fulfilling. That's fulfillment. That's awareness. So whatever you're able to garnish as far as byproducts is being manifested with your proper with a better etiquette. With a better etiquette. It's not looking to, I'm not looking to get that Corvette Stingray just to be him. No, I was him before I got the Stingray.